What's up guys, Chatya here with a quick video tutorial on the new Hulk Smash indicator. Okay, the links for this indicator will be in the description. You can check them out there. For those of you who have already purchased, let's get straight into it. So from your instructions, you would have added the indicator to your favorites in TradingView. So when you log into your account on TradingView and open up your chart, if you scroll to the FX indicator tab at the top of your screen, click on that one and go down to favorites, you should see the indicators here in your favorite. We're going to open up version 1.1, which will be released very soon because there's a couple of new features in here that I wanted to show you guys. So we'll just load that one up, close that down. Okay, so when your chart loads, you'll see all these different colors and all of these different arrows. So Hulk Smash is a TradingView strategy, which means it gives definitive buy and sell signals. So interpreting these arrows on the chart, just looking at the arrows for the moment, the blue arrows are a buy signal with the exact position of the buy indicated by these arrows on the candle, and the sell signal, the arrows pointing down, with the exact price being on the candle there, designated by the side arrows. Okay, so that gives you the indication of where exactly the buy and sells are being generated. Now we also color code the candles. So purple is for the downtrend, that's when you're not holding the coin, and green is when you have purchased and are holding the coin. Down the bottom of the indicator pane, you will see these two lines down here. So the way that Hulk Smash works is by a combination of moving averages and relating it to the strength of the price action. Now that gives us a signal line, which is this green line, and then what we do is we offset that line by a set amount with what we call the Hulk offset, and when those two lines cross, they either give a buy or a sell signal. So I've left the graph on in the indicator so that people can get a visual representation of what's happening with the strength of the price action. Okay, let's get into some of the settings. So if you come down to your indicator pane and hover over the chart Hulk Smash, it'll bring up these little boxes here. What we want to do is click on the gear icon, which is the settings. Now in here, there are 4 different headings under here. We've got inputs, property, style, and visibility. Visibility we don't really need to do much with. Style, if you want to customize the colors and turn off any particular candle colors or lines in the chart, you can do that there. If you've got a light screen, you might want to change the colors to something a little bit more visible, or vice versa. What is one of the most important things are these down the bottom here. So we can toggle on the trades, which takes off those arrows. If you get used to the indicator, you will probably just start using the candle colors rather than have to have these arrows on the chart, as they do tend to clog up the screen a bit. You can also get the official name for when those buys and sells occur, and also the quantity. So we'll get into the quantity a bit later, but that's exactly how many of the coin you're buying or selling. So for the moment, we'll just turn those ones off. If we come over to properties, so like we said, these give definitive buy and sell signals. So in the properties section, we can actually start calculating how much profit we're making from a certain amount of start money. So your initial capital will be the denomination amount of money. So if it's an XRP USD chart, this will be in US dollars. If it's an XRP chart versus Bitcoin, this initial capital will be your starting capital in Bitcoin. So for initial capital, so we're going to start with $1,000 US. I've got my commission set to 0.1, which is what it is in Binance at the moment. Once you have that commission set and initial capital set, you can get a pretty good idea of how profitable your strategy is going to be. Okay, So if we just leave that one as it is now, we'll save that. Now, if we want to start looking at how profitable our strategy is, down the bottom of the screen here, we can click on Strategy Tester. Okay, so when we open up our Strategy Tester, you can see down here, our first tab is Overview, and that will give us a graphical representation of the profitability of the strategy using these particular settings. At the moment, we're just using it out of the box. We haven't even begun to play with it yet. But you can see here we've had a 99% net profit, 346 closed trades, only 28% of them profitable, but with a profit factor of 1.12, maximum drawdown, average trade size, and how many bars for each trade. So this just gives a graphical representation. I don't really focus on these metrics too much. They tend to come good when we start to have a play around with the settings. I'll go down to the last one now, which is list of trades. It gives you an exact date, time, price, how many coins were bought, and for what profit exactly. The cumulative profit, which is your running profit, and a few other things. The most important one that I concentrate on is the performance summary. So now that we have our initial capital set at 1,000 and our commission set at 0.1, we get a very, very accurate representation of how profitable the strategy is going to be. What I tend to focus on is making sure that this net profit stays in the black. If this is staying in the black, then we're doing good. We're actually making some money, whether it be versus USD or versus BTC. So that's a good start. The second metric that I look at is versus the buy and hold return. Have we been doing better than the market? If we would have just bought the coins and held them, how good would we have been going compared to our net profit? Now, I always try and make sure my net profit is doing better than the market. Okay, or else we should just buy the coins and hold them. It's a no-brainer. So what we try and do is play around with the settings to find out where the sweet spot is on our chart to get the most profitability out of our strategy. The way that we do that, with Hulk Smash, there's only one setting that we play with, and that's the Hulk offset. So as we spoke about that before, the Hulk offset is the distance between these two lines. Now, if we open up our settings again, and we come over to inputs, you can see here we've got Hulk offset down the bottom. Now, for the higher time frames, I've got in there recommended between 1 and 5. You can go to whatever number that you want, but for the higher time frames, anything in single digits seems to work the best. Those numbers can get a little bit higher if you are going to the lower time frames. These were all designed for sort of around the daily chart, 12-hour, 4-hour, up to 2-day, 3-day. Those a little bit longer time frames seem to work a lot better. So what we do is we can have a play around. We go, okay, let's have a look on the 4-hour chart with the Hulk offset at 1. We say, okay, well, that wasn't very profitable at a Hulk set 1, so we wouldn't use that because there seems to be too many buys and sells going on. Hulk offset 2, okay, not too bad. We've got a 63% return on our investment, including fees, which is fantastic. If we would have just bought the coins and held them, we'd still be down nearly 40%. Hulk offset 3, which is our default setting, we're actually sitting quite nice at 99%, so almost doubled our money, even though the market has actually gone down 40%. So this is when the indicator comes into its own, is that if you're making money in the downtrend, or at least just breaking even and saving money in the downtrend, when that trend reverses again is when you start to see those big profits. And so that's what you're seeing here, is that instead of losing nearly half your money, you've actually doubled your money. And we're scrolling out again, so Hulk offset 4, we're getting up a bit higher, we're doing better than 100%. Again, Hulk offset 5, even better once again, 127%, 154%, 374%, so Hulk offset 7 looks pretty good there. Dripping down a bit on the 8. 10. Okay, so for the XRP USD 4-hour chart, we would be looking to set up some alerts with a Hulk offset of 7 because our profitability is up to 374%, including our fees, where the market was doing almost a 50% drop. Okay, so let's get into how we set this up with alerts. Now we've got our Hulk offset set at 7 because we've done a little bit of testing with the strategy tester. And now what we want to do is go and set an alert so that we know when to buy and sell. So we'll close that one down there, we'll minimize this, and on the right hand side of your screen you will see an alarm clock icon. So if we click on that alarm clock icon, this brings up our alert panels. Up the top here is an alarm clock with a plus sign, that is a create new alert, and that'll bring up this pop-up screen here. Now there is a TradingView app as well that you can download for free. I highly recommend getting it because you can get the push notifications sent to your phone when these alerts trigger. They've got some cool new sounds on there too, so you never miss an opportunity as well. So what we want to do when we create this alert is open up this pop-up screen, and under the condition we want to select our indicator. So we choose the chart here, Hulk Smash, an expiration time. So for pro accounts and free accounts, I think the alert times is a month or 2 months. So we can just set that to sort of a couple of months time, and we can review that. We want it to notify on the app. We want to show a pop-up on the screen. And what TradingView does is pre-populate this message sitting down here. As you see down the bottom, they've got some special placeholders. You can use those ones to create custom messages, and as the indicator and TradingView send out messages, it'll pre-populate each of those functions with whatever's happening on your chart. So this strategy order action is probably the most important one because that will populate with either buy or sell. So what we do in our message, we might go, we might put new, and then this section here will be either buy or sell signal on XRP 4-hour Hulk Smash. Okay, so that will be our new message, the alert name, just so we can see under our alert headings what this is called. We might call this XRP 4-hour Hulk Smash, just so we know which one it is. But this will be the actual alert that will get sent to our phone. So you'll know that there'll be a new buy signal or a new sell signal depending on what the signal is generated. So now we just hit create. And then in our alert panel over here, you will see our alert is active and ready to go. So on the next green candle, at the close of the next green candle, we will get a new buy signal, and it will send through our message. One of the features that we have available to help us with our strategies is the ability to set a start date. So if we scroll over to our settings and have a look under inputs, the first checkbox here we can see is set strategy start date. I'm just going to turn on some trades on the chart just so we can see what's going on. So back to the inputs, you can see that we've selected to have a start date, and our start date is the 1st of July this year. On the chart here you can see that from the 1st of July starts here, and we don't get any signals generated until the first buy signal of after that date. It's very important that the strategy won't start until there is a buy signal generated. The theory behind that is that you don't actually have anything to sell because the strategy doesn't know that you've bought anything. So if you want to set your start date at a period where it's already green, a signal won't be generated until it essentially goes purple and then green again. So you'll have to adjust your start date and your initial capital to reflect those trades. So you may have to add in an extra trade just to get your amount of XRP or coin that you're buying correct. But if you're starting during a purple if the candles are purple when you want to set your strategy date, then the next signal will be a buy signal, and the indicator will calculate how many coins you'll buy based on your initial capital. So we're lucky enough to be in a period of purple at the moment. So what we can do is set our start date to, let's say, the 1st of August. So we'll set it for the 1st of August. Now we can see we've got no signals at the moment because we haven't had a buy signal after the 1st of August. And now the next signal that gets generated will be a buy signal, and it will be a buy signal based on the amount of initial capital we have in here. And then when we have that signal generated, the quantity will be displayed on the screen if we choose to select quantity. But what we can also do is incorporate that into our messaging. So again, we can go in here, add a message, alert, select the Hulk. Right, so in here we know that strategy order action is our buy-sell function. In here is the strategy order contracts, which is how many of the coin we're buying. So we can use those little placeholders to create another message in an alert if we wanted to. So we might have new, and we know that one's going to be buy or sell, new buy or sell signal, and we might have strategy order contracts XRP. So this will be new buy signal 1100 XRP on 4-hour Hulk smash. We'll select notify an app, show pop-up, and what that will send through now is a new buy or sell signal, depending on what it is, with how many XRP we're buying or selling on the 4-hour Hulk smash. And that one's all loaded now and ready to go. Another one of the new features we've added in version 1.1 is the ability to pull data from a higher time frame. Let's sneak over to the daily chart and we'll reset our defaults back here. Okay, so this is out of the box, daily, XRP, USD. We can see here we're getting some pretty nice signals there. Now, if you wanted to trade those signals but also wanted to have your chart on a lower time frame just so you can do your regular charting, we've added a function that you can do that now as well. So all we've got to do is put it on the time frame that you want to look at. Okay, and then when we go down here to our settings, we'll just turn that one off for the moment. And we'll turn off the trades. Okay, down the bottom here, say use higher time frame data. Now at the moment, and by default, it's usually set to same as chart, but now we can adjust that to 1 day. And we can see that we're getting those nice signals that we had from the daily now overlaid on the 4-hour chart. So you can still use the chart as you want to, but you can now have those higher time frame signals overlaid on the top to give you some confluence with your regular trading. Now, the way that TradingView works, this only works with higher time frames. If you do add it to lower time frames, you start losing some data as you're trying to put 60 minutes worth of data into one single hour data point. So the system tends to get confused because more than half of the data points are lost. So when you're going to a higher time scale, it works fine, but we don't do it for a lower time frame than our chart. You'll also notice on the graphs, they tend to get sort of drawn out and almost pixelated here. That's because instead of giving a data for each individual point, we're just carrying through for the whole day. So there'll be, on a 4-hour chart, the full 6 points of data for a 24-hour period will be the same, which is whatever the data point for the day is.